Here's the key points. We are all the same. Most people won't change until they have to. Most people don't have a self-reflective practice. People want to know what is in it for them. Everyone has the same few fears. If you feel like you have nothing to live for, the most important thing to do is to find or create something to live for. We are all different and we all have different preferences. Some of us become better humans from negative experiences and others become bitter and dejected. Most people don't like being told what to do, even if it's correct information and good advice. Okay, so number one, we are all the same. We all want to be loved, feel a sense of purpose, and to be connected to something greater than ourselves. And we want to feel happy and healthy and feel like our life matters. Number two, most people won't really change until they have to. I've noticed this time and time again with myself and my patients. We all wait until the pain is so high that we must change, or it gets to a point where it breaks into our consciousness and distracts us, really just forcing us to take action. So here's an example. I've used a different name. Bob wouldn't come in to see me until the pain in the shoulder was absolutely killing him and he couldn't lift his arm. He could have come in a month sooner and addressed it much more quickly, but he'd been so busy with work and the kids and that he said he just couldn't find the time. Now, our subconscious says, if I can put it on the back burner, I don't need to think about it. Unfortunately, most of us think like this and do this all the time. And I've certainly learned to address things much earlier, thanks in large part to what I've seen other people do, which has really landed them in some dire situations. So I try not to make the same mistakes. Number three, most people do not have a self-reflective practice. Why do I keep injuring myself? Because you keep making the same mistake over and over again without taking a moment to ask why it could be happening. Another thing could be, why do I keep failing at my job? Is it possible you're not asking yourself, what you are not doing well? What does failing even mean? These are just some preliminary questions that you might ask yourself in that scenario. Why do I keep failing in my relationships? Are you asking yourself how you could be a better partner? What can you do to improve yourself, thereby making you a better partner to your significant other? You can't cede it all to the other person. Number four, people want to know what's in it for them. How will this choice affect them and the view of their peers about them? Number five, everyone has the same few fears. Some of these are redundant, I'm sure. The fear of being ostracized from the group, the fear of appearing weak, the fear of embarrassment and loss of social status, and really all of these are in their purest form is just a fear of loss of current social status into a lower social status, and then ultimately death. We are primates after all. So the fear of commitment and making the wrong choice, or a choice that turns out to reduce our perceived well-being, is often why people don't make choices that would even be good for them, because there's the uncertainty of how they will be seen if they make that choice. Will they be able to handle that perceived fallout? While it's true, some decisions, if made poorly, will result in an actual fallout, the stakes in most day-to-day situations are very small for the majority of us. All fear is really just avoiding the loss of social status and preventing ourselves from dying. This, I think, is deeply biological, as back when humans first emerged hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago, we were ostracized. If we were ostracized from the group and we were on our own, this literally meant death. We wouldn't be able to gather enough food or water individually, and we likely wouldn't have been able to fend off predators alone, at least not for long. But that biological pre-programmed fear isn't really logical anymore. We haven't quite evolved past it yet. If someone doesn't like something we say or do, and they decide they want us to out us from the social group, we can just join a new one. We're really no longer dependent on a tribe or one tribe to provide all forms of sustenance. All right, 6, if you feel like you have nothing to live for, improving your situation is incredibly difficult. There seems to be an epidemic of people who feel like there is nothing to live for. It's really sad, and they are clearly miserable. They don't have friends, hate their spouse, stay home most of the time, don't have any hobbies, and stay home and just watch the news most of the day. They likely have some chronic health conditions, which also makes doing things more difficult, maybe estranged from their children or no children. I've worked with so many people like this. It's incredibly sad. When someone comes in and they've had lower back pain for 20 years, but their life is as I just previously described, there's just not a whole lot that I can do for them. These folks, they need more than anything strong social connections, as they've completely just disconnected from society and themselves. And unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to help folks with that, which is why they probably need a mixture of options: a psychotherapist, PT, recreational therapist, and just a multidisciplinary team. Number 7, we all have different preferences. One person will tell me how they really disliked Dr. X, while another person will tell me how Dr. X is God's gift to humanity. This is why I don't trust random people's opinions. Our opinions are just so flawed and biased. We make judgments based on a few data points, and then we make conclusions without asking the question of, was this just a bad experience? Number 8, some of us become better humans from negative experiences, and others become just bitter and dejected. I don't have anything else to add to that. Number 9, most people don't like being told what to do, even if it's correct. And this is an ego problem. If you ask someone for advice and they tell you what to do, and you don't like it, even though you know it's correct, that's a you problem. If the answer is correct, it shouldn't matter how it's said. Ideally, we would work to separate the message and the tone or words in order to truly analyze and understand what is said. I'm not saying it doesn't matter how you say things, but just keep that in mind. Okay, well, that about wraps it up. If you think there are other aspects of human nature that I've missed, and there definitely are, please write some more in the comment section.